All right, this is another quick haul. Went into the antique store. Never really see the guy that works there, or not works there, but he owns the one booth. It's the only one that has good comic books, but he's never really there, so I never got a chance to talk to him. So I got a good little conversation with him. He started showing me all kinds of neat stuff, from a signed biography of Johnny Weissmuller, because I'm a big Tarzan fan. He wanted 150 for it, even would go 100, but it was signed and everything. But my favorite's Ron Ely, so I wasn't sure whether I wanted to do that. But I did pick up this. It is a money thing they did back in the day in 1945 for Superman. And it was through like a department store, I think, or something. But you can look at the Superman design on it. I seen it and I was like, oh my gosh, do I want to pass that up? I decided I wouldn't. I thought that was just too cool. Picked up this book and record. It's got a crease, but I can flatten that out. This is from 1974 Flintstones, and look, does have the record in it and everything and stuff. So still, good color to it and everything and stuff. So gotta love that. Just love the Flintstones. So that was a good pickup to me. Picked up this Tarzan, King of the Apes. It is the tape one. Even though I wouldn't play it on anything, I just think it's really neat. Again, who knows if the tape would even play, but it's just too cool. I do have a tape player though. Picked up this pulp of the Spider. He had a number of them. I'd really like to try to go back up and see what else he's got up there. He's got a few things I still want to get at, but oh man, I love this. This is so cool. Got that old cigarette ad on the back. She looks all happy, She's gonna smoke a cigarette between her actually doing the, parade. Picked up this, my first Hogan's Heroes. One of my favorites. Love the show. Still watch it. I stream it on, I think it's Freevee or whatever has it. I watch it when I'm over at my mom's house, whenever I hang out with her at night on Friday nights and stuff. It's just, like I said, all of them have photo covers. I think there's 9, but this just, like I said, true nostalgia right there. Picked up this Daredevil 100. Needed it for my run. Love this. Picked up this Mickey Mouse as Secret Agent. Super Secret Agent. The cover on it is just beautiful. You can look at all the little stuff going on. I love how they colored differently each square with everything happening in each part of it. So it's just a really neat one. Picked up this. It may be a little bit of a low grade, but it is the #1 to Black Panther. I am working on that run, and this to me is one of the hardest of them. But I've got #2, #3 already. Got a lot of the higher numbers. There's only 15 of them. So getting #1 was always going to be the hardest. Just worked out. That was one of the ones he had there, so I grabbed it. Picked up this Katie Keene annual. My CLZ only shows 2 of these. Looks like a #4 and #6 it shows in the CLZ. This one I think comes from 1957, I think it said. You can look and see how thick she is. So it's a nice big square bound. So it's a beautiful looking book. Picked up Little Archie and Animal Land. Now this book, I thought it was just under Little Archie, but if you look at it in the CLZ, it lists this individually. With that, it shows like a #1, then it jumps to like 17, 18, 19, whatever. So it doesn't really show like a full run of this or something. Like I really need to go back my Overstreets and see if I can find this run in there to see how many there was of it originally. Um, it could have been one where they started it in one thing, moved it over to this, and then moved it back and forth again. Who knows? I just thought it was really cool the way they are. Finally gotten my copy of the Marvel's No Prize book. See people show this all the time. Thought it was really neat. Uh, like I said, there's only one, so it's not like they do. They do have a night nurse appearance in there, so I thought that was pretty neat. So, and then if you look, this is Showcase number 74. This is 1968, my birth year, and I believe, I may be incorrect on this, but I believe that Anthro this is his first appearance before he had his own little series. Howie Post does everything in this. Pretty much he does the inking, the penciling, the writing, so he does pretty much all of it off this whole finale. Whether he does all during the series, I've only got one or two of the regular series. I've been looking for those too, but as soon as I seen this, I grabbed this because, like I said, I think it's a cool character. I really like when DC did these. It was pretty neat. Picked up another one for my Masters of the Universe run. This is the continual one that ran up to and like 14 or 15 or something like that. So I've got the number 1, number 3, number 4, and then like 10 and something else. So I'm slowly, putting it together, and it is the anniversary one. So all of that kind of is neat for it. Picked up this double. It is a double. I thought it was a different one. I should have looked whenever I was doing it, but it wasn't a bad price that he had it at. So having a double, and maybe it's better than the one I have of the Werewolf by Night. But again, number 23. Picked up number 2 of Sandman. I got 3 left of this to go. Number 2. I got number 1, number 2, and number, let's say it's like 4 or something like that. So I got to fill in the rest of the gaps in there. So beautiful looking monster over here and stuff when the kid's doing everything. So really love those at Jack Kirby. Now, Artgerm, seen this. Thought this one would be a really good Supergirl one to grab. He had like 2 of these there, and I was kind of like iffy whether I should grab them both. That way I could put one up and display one, and then my other one go in the box and stuff. But I thought that this was just a beautiful cover. I love a degree of that outfit because it reminds me a lot of that 70s, which that one right there, as you look at her, it is pretty much that same thing. So I thought it was pretty cool. And except in this, she's got the boots and that. She's got the small shoes, but relatively, now I'm working on this run too. I want to finish that Supergirl run and the one that come just as we enter the 80s. Got this is a one-shot from Dell. It is Moses and the 10 Commandments. And let me tell you something, brother. This one feels like it's the 10 Commandments. This one's thick. I cannot believe how thick this Dell is. So this would definitely be some good reading. Picked up this New Kids on the Block. Chilling. It is a crazy rabbit hole that I went down with some of these. My niece loved New Kids on the Block. I could care less about them in that way. Didn't really go after their music, didn't even listen to it at the time they were out. But as a comic book, I find it to be just a trip. The fact that they even got a comic book, any of them tells you something. Picked up this Iron Man, and this one is a double for me. Again, when I grabbed it, I thought it was a different one that I needed, but I'm okay with it because some of these, like I said, it's a Bob Layton. Sometimes you get lucky and you find a Mark Jewelers and stuff, and it still could be. I haven't gone through all these that I picked up, so I'll see. Picked up this one I needed for that run. Again, trying to pick up all the books I had as a kid. I remember picking that 40 center up off the spinner rack back in the day. I want to try to complete that run all the way up. I got 150 is a big one I'm still trying to get a hold of. And will. Picked up this beautiful Tarzan. Now I'm working on the Dell run. I've completed the Marvel. I completed the DC. I'm now working on the Gold Key and Dell ones. Now I've got a bunch of them all the way up through. But anytime I see a Dell or any of those, I try to grab them. Because again, these are, harder at the time. I'm a really big Tarzan fan. I love the reading books. Edgar Rice Burroughs wrote some phenomenal stuff. I have all 24 books of the Tarzan run. I'll have to show them one day. I have the ones from the 70s and 80s back through the 60s. I even have some from the 1930s. So Tarzan's a big favorite of mine. Last is a Gordon Scott Tarzan. Again, it's a Dell. It's a 10 center. This is back there in the 1950s. I'm trying to remember. I think 57 it might have been. Gordon Scott was, he was a big guy. He looked like a football player to me. But Ronnie Lee is always my favorite. But Gordon Scott was a really good Tarzan. And I liked him as it. Lex Baker is on the cover of all the ones prior to Gordon Scott. So anytime I see those, I've only got a couple with him on it, but I've got about 3 or 4 with Gordon Scott on it. So I'm slowly trying to build it. And the guy did tell me he has some more at the house. He has some with Ron Ely on them. So if it's some of the ones I need, I'm kind of hoping it is, and I can fill up some more of those gaps of those. Because again, they kind of went with photo covers in the time period that these people were actually more popular and doing it. So, well, that is it. I look forward to talking to a bunch of y'all on 4-Color Fossils on the chat tonight. Can't wait for the show. And I will see y'all later. Have a fantastic Wednesday night.